Alright, today we are going to replace the battery on a 2013 Smart car. So the battery, well, first of all, let me say I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a professional auto repair or in any way, so I'm making this video for my own benefit. Also, if it can help someone else on the internet or around the world to fix their smart car, then that would be great. So the battery on the smart car, at least in the US version, is under the passenger side floor mat. In the European versions it may be on the driver's side, but it is underneath that. So the first thing that you have to do for this to work on the battery, is remove the floor mat, and then as well move the covering on the floor mat back. There is this metal piece that is stored here. This is for towing the vehicle. There is a hole in the front of the vehicle that this would go screw into, and there's also a hole in the back of the vehicle that this screws into, and then you can use you can hook up towing chains to it. So let me take the styrofoam out from underneath and we can get started, at least look at the battery. Alright, step one on removing the battery is to remove this styrofoam piece, to lift up a little bit more on the floor, the rug there that's covering it, and then it just comes right out. There's no fasteners or anything. And then here's your battery. So we have the I believe this is the positive terminal here, the negative terminal here, and then there's a little bracket that's holding it on. So this is going to have to come off first, and then we can take off the negative terminal and the positive terminal, and then hopefully the battery just lifts right out. So let's give it a try. Let's take all these three nuts off. All three of them use the same size ratchet or socket. They're 10 millimeter. I was wrong before. This is the negative connector, so we're going to take that off first, and then we'll do the positive. So alright, so let's start with the bracket here. We'll take this one off first. Get it on there. Alright, so let's try to get this off just with the 10 millimeter wrench itself. Alright, so that's off. I always like to put nuts back on to their screws just so I don't lose them and I know exactly where they go back on. So, alright, so this is off. Let's see if we can get it off the battery itself. There we go. Alright, so that bracket's off. Now we'll take off the negative cable, which is on this side. So you just have to loosen that up. The nut doesn't have to come off all the way. Move it out of the way so there's no chance of it touching the frame or the battery itself, or the positive cable. And then we just take this one off. just like that. All right, so now the battery itself has been disconnected from the vehicle, and you should be able to just lift it out, but it's not moving. All right, so now we have a problem. This battery should lift straight out now that I've got all the cables off. There's nothing that's holding it down, but I can't even budge it. It's moving the whole car when I tug on it. So if I look in here, there's some kind of brown substance down there. So I don't know if somebody has spilled some soda or if battery acid, but I'm gonna try to loosen it up here with a crowbar if I can get underneath it. Okay, doesn't seem to be doing anything. Let me get a rubber mallet. There we go. Okay. So that is out. And let's just take a look at what's in there. So if we can see, you can see in there. I don't know what happened. There's some kind of junk, grease, something in there that's really sticky, so we're gonna have to clean that out before we do anything else. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of gunk and down in there. You can see it's that black stuff, so I'm gonna take some Goo Gone and we're gonna spray it all in there, let it set for a few minutes, and then we'll try and clean it out. Alright, so everything's good and coated with the Goo Gone. Now we'll let it sit for a few minutes. Okay, so we got the entire compartment cleaned out. It looks really great now. But it didn't actually look like soda. Maybe it was thicker than that, and we're not really sure what it is, but it's the disconcerting thing is there's a plug back here that has some moisture on it. So I don't know if that is the source of the problem. There's something leaking in here from the engine compartment. Well, that's actually not the engine compartment. So maybe we'll have to climb under and see. But for now, I'm just going to put some paper towel in the bottom and then put the battery back in. All right, let's get the battery back in there. Got my paper towel in the bottom for whatever that's worth. Uh-oh. Pulled this out by mistake. It's a drain plug of some kind. Alright, that's back in. So, battery's in place. Just have to put all the cables back on. So again, we'll start with, actually let's start with the positive one. So move this out of the way a little bit. And then put this on here. Tighten up the 10mm nut that's on here. Alright, so the battery is all back in. Now we just need to put this back on so it goes underneath this metal lip, I believe. No, sorry, there's a slot here. So it goes into this slot. Alright, and we're done. So now we just have to put the plastic or the styrofoam piece back in and replace the carpet and the floor mat. Thanks for watching.